I'm Susan. Welcome to Tea and Games. The tea today is Scottish breakfast, which is probably the strongest tea I have. So if I'm just really bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I've got an excuse now. I've been doing some FOMO, fear of missing out, kind of game buying. But before I get to that, there are a couple of notes that I want to get right up here at the top. It has recently come to my attention that YouTube is now putting ads in my videos. This is not a monetized channel. I'm not like trying to make money off of this. I am not a professional content creator. I'm not trying to be a professional content creator. I have a small sort of niche audience. You know who you are. And I'm sort of dismayed at the ads being on there, not just because the revenue is going to YouTube rather than me, because as few views as I get, it's only going to be pennies, right? But also because I know that they're probably annoying viewers. This is a casual, chill channel, and to have those ads punched in there in your face is going to make this a lot less pleasant. So, since I cannot stop YouTube from monetizing my channel against my will, I'm going to recommend to viewers that you use the DuckDuckGo browser and view my videos within the browser. DuckDuckGo is known for having really good on privacy issues. They have a built-in VPN if you want to get a subscription to that. And also, they have their own little duck player, which will play YouTube videos within their browser. And there's an ad blocker for YouTube, specifically in the settings for the DuckDuckGo browser. You can turn on the DuckDuckGo YouTube ad blocker and watch it in the DuckDuckGo player in the browser, and you won't see ads. And I think actually no ads at all are the best way to watch my videos. Now, if you are watching YouTube videos that are made by professional content creators who have made the choice to monetize their channel and this is part of their income, then yeah, go ahead, watch it within YouTube. You know, make sure that those people get money for the ads that run on their channel, because they have opted in to monetize their channel. They are trying to use YouTube as an income stream. So if you like their stuff, contribute to it by sitting through the ads or muting them or whatever. Let them run so they'll get a little bit of money off of it. But for me, no. There's no reason you should have to watch ads during my videos. So the DuckDuckGo browser has a built-in YouTube ad blocker, and I recommend that you use it. It's what I am now doing. So, and the second note, which is far less serious, this is a shout out to one particular viewer. Donna, if you're watching, you are absolutely right that using the advanced buildings in Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small Big Box made a huge difference. I also made a huge mess, but I liked my mess much better with the advanced buildings. So that was a little callback to an earlier video there. I want to talk a little bit about FOMO because it has occurred to me. This video could be just an add-on to my smallish haul video, which was a couple of videos back, just a few videos back, because this is also a smallish haul. But most of this has been driven by FOMO, fear of missing out. I mentioned in the previous video that I got Barron Park after playing it at a friend's house. But when I ordered Barron Park, I also, see, this is not the FOMO. When I ordered Barron Park, I also ordered Century: A New World, because there seemed to be, my local game store had a weirdly difficult, impossible time getting Century Eastern Wonders. And I know that the Gollum edition of the Century series of games, there are 3 games, the Gollum edition, it seems to be more popular with people than the original regular edition, even though they play the same. The only thing different is the artwork. Well, I'm not that crazy about the Gollum artwork. And I know that's a minority opinion, but it's like I don't really care for the Gollum artwork, so I went with the original edition. And that's what we had played. But I noticed that it's kind of getting hard to find, like all of the games in it. Like you can find one, but maybe not the others, and you can't order it directly from the publisher's website. And so there's a part of me that's, and remember, I am not a professional content creator. I am not plugged into all kinds of sources of info within the board game community. I'm a regular person like you. But I'm kind of wondering if the regular edition of Century is being phased out in favor of the Gollum edition, because I don't know, in terms of cost and production and stuff, I'm not sure it really makes sense to have two of the same game, and the only difference is the artwork and the style of the components. And since one edition seems to be much more popular than the original edition, I could certainly see a publisher making a decision to just have one line of Century games. So I kind of thought, if we want to get the third game in this series, maybe I should go ahead and get it, because it could go away. So I did. We've only recently gotten, for new viewers, hi new viewers, we've only recently gotten the Eastern Wonders, the second game in the trilogy, which we like a lot. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays. All of these three games can be played as combinations or expansions to the other games. Like Eastern Wonders has a way of combining it with Century Spice Road. And this Century A New World, it has instructions on how to combine A New World with Eastern Wonders, and A New World with Eastern Wonders and Spice Road, and Spice Road and A New World. It basically, with this one, it has instructions for all the combos. So yeah, I thought I should maybe get that just in cases. And then, oh yeah, I also got, I got this. I should also mention this. This is not really FOMO, although sometimes I have trouble finding folded space inserts for specific games. It's like, I know there's a folded space insert for this game and I don't buy it, and then when I go to buy it, then I can't find it anywhere. So when I got those two, I also got folded space inserts, one for Scar Bray, which has 16 different resources, and setting that thing up is, I mean, I really like the game, but setting it up is like an adventure. And I think that this will make that whole like chaos in a box and sorting everything out and laying it out on the table in some way that we could actually use the pieces. I think this may make it better. We shall see. I will need to put it together. And I also got the folded space insert for Castles of Burgundy, which we finally got after Pelican. It took a little while for our game store to get it in. And I think that that's going to help a lot sorting everything out, because my copy of Castles of Burgundy is like the multilingual edition that has some extra mini expansion stuff in it. So this will help sort that out. So a little bit of FOMO there. And then we start getting into more FOMO. At the beginning of July, Osprey Games had a massive sale, which, as I understand it, is going on all the way through the month of July. So at the time this video goes out, the sale will still be going on, though the level of their inventory may have changed since I ordered, because I ordered at the beginning of the month. The thing with Osprey Games is that they're not an independent company. They're like a subdivision of a larger company who has now decided to get rid of their games division. What they want to do, what the parent company wants to do, is to sell off Osprey Games to another publisher. But I don't know, the board game industry is kind of going through some stuff right now. At least it looks that way to me based upon what I see and hear. And there's a part of me that's going like, that would be great, but I'm kind of thinking that I'm just not sure if there's going to be any company that's basically going to want to just buy a whole nother company and bring it into their thing. There are some large board game companies that could do it, but a lot of board game companies are in the small to medium range, and that might be a bit of a heavy lift for them. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe the Osprey Games line is going to be sold off piecemeal, because they do have some really, really popular stuff. Osprey is the one that publishes the whole Undaunted series, from like Normandy to Callisto. So I could sure see some companies saying, well, we don't want to buy all of your stuff, like your whole company, but maybe we would get the licensing right to Undaunted. That would make total sense to me. But again, I'm not a board game industry professional, so maybe it doesn't make sense, but it kind of seems like they could end up selling off the licenses to specific stuff, which once that happens or doesn't happen, who knows? So one of the other things that they have is they have the 3-game heavy game trilogy. And yes, I know we're not usually heavy gamers, but we do occasionally play heavy games. And the important point here is that I have a curiosity about a lot of heavy games. We've played the first game in this series. We have Merv, which is the first game, I believe, in this trilogy. And it was kind of a rough first playthrough, and we've been meaning to get it back to the table and see if we can get it a little bit smoother and get a better grasp on stuff, because we didn't dislike it. We think it's a good game. We just think we're really bad at it. So yeah, but of course that can be said of a lot of games. We're really bad at it, but the important point is how much we enjoy it. And we think that Merv has potential still, so we're going to give it another shot. So I'm thinking, but there's 2 other games in this trilogy, and if something happens to Osprey and they are not sold off whole to another board game publisher, if they're sold off piecemeal, I don't know if these games would be available in the future. I mean, we just don't know if Osprey's going to be able to find a buyer for their whole game division, or if they're going to sell off bits and pieces, and what bits and pieces may or may not be sold off. So since they're having a sale, and some of the discounts, one of these was slightly discounted and one was massively discounted, I don't remember now which one was which, since they were on sale, and since I don't know what the future holds for the games that Osprey currently publishes, I decided to get them. Even though they're much heavier than what we usually play, and even though they may be like hair-tearingly infuriating, because we don't usually play big games, heavy games, we do make a run at them sometimes. And one of these I've already punched and sorted and bagged, and one I haven't. I need to get to that later this afternoon after this video goes out. So we got those because I'm just not sure. And one of the things that I am seriously, profoundly, heart-stoppingly not sure about in terms of the Osprey Games inventory. I mean, these 2 games were designed by Fabio Lopiano, you know, Shackleton Base, and Zapotec, and Merv, and these 2. So, I mean, the designer's kind of hot. Maybe these will be picked up by somebody, but because they're big and they're beautiful. But what would happen to a couple of teeny tiny games like Village Green, which I have not played and do not own, and Village Rails, which Robert and I love? This is a delightful little small box game of using small cards to build train routes and fulfill objective cards. And plays pretty good at 2. Sometimes the trip cards don't cycle over quite as fast as one would like with 2 players, but it still works okay with 2. Enough that we still really, really like it and play it fairly regularly. And we have introduced it to other people who really like it. This also has a bit of a pedigree in terms of designer, because one of the designers is Matthew Dunstan. And the other is Brett J. Gilbert, whom I am less familiar with. But still, these are small games, Village Green and Village Rails. They are small games, and they might get overlooked if Osprey Games is broken up. If they're sold whole, these actually I think would do pretty well, because it would not take a lot of cash to get these into production. Keep them into production, I should say. But I got an extra of Village Rails. We've already got Village Rails because I am just banking this in case something bad happens with Osprey's inventory. If this goes out of print, I want to have a copy squirreled away in case like 10 years from now, I've got a friend who loves this game but can't get a hold of it. I've got you covered. So yeah, I've got one extra copy, and it too was on sale, to bank for just in case. And then this weekend, one of the local gamers posted on the local Discord. The Greater Houston area has a massive Discord for local players, and it's just got channel after channel after channel, like, I don't know, a few dozen channels of various board game meetups in various parts of the whole Greater Houston area at an assortment of different locations. So it's very meetup oriented, but they also have a marketplace channel, and one of the local board gamers was selling this. I saw a video about this that Monique and Naveen did over on Before You Play, and I will link that below. And by the way, if I have watched the video on something, there's a good chance it will be linked in the description. I don't always, occasionally I've forgotten, but most of the time if I mention stuff that I've seen videos on that I want you to see, I'm going to stick them in the description, even if I don't mention that. But this is a 2-player tile laying game. And by tiles, I mean like domino tiles. And because it's very head-to-head and you're stealing like each other's snakes, okay, this is not a good game for people who are phobic about snakes. But it's got a bag that you draw the snake tiles out of. The rule book is very entertainingly written, but also very complete and thorough. You get a bag that has the snake tiles in it, one of which spilled out. And there is a starting tile which is baggied separate because once it gets mixed in there, you're never going to find it again. So among the games that someone was culling was this one, because this person is, I found out, another YouTuber. This is Ronald, who is Board Game Bruh, and I will put a link to his channel down below. I have subscribed to his channel now, and that was just another neat thing about buying locally, is that I found another local YouTuber. So that was kind of cool. Oh, and by the way, this game actually comes with tile racks, which is nice. The one thing about this game that puts it in the I should get it now because it could go away category is that I'm not crazy about the price point for this new. This is a $50 game. And I should add that this is a super lightweight 2-player game. And I kind of feel like that there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to be willing to play the, see, nice clacky tiles, parts of tiles. You build long snakes and you can take over each other's snake. It has that flipping mechanism like Bruno Cathallo's donuts do. And I think that's also an Othello mechanism because a lot of people have mentioned Othello. But at 50, I kind of see it because these are specialty made. They're not like regular dominoes. They've got unique artwork on them. And it comes with tile racks and everything in a bag. I could kind of see this being a pricey game. Though arguably you could make a real cheap version of this using cardboard or cards because you're just laying things down. But I kind of feel like that there's not going to be a huge audience for this and that this could eventually go away. The publisher is West Coast Games, which is not a publisher I'm familiar with, which means nothing because there's a lot of publishers I'm not familiar with. I am not a board game professional. But it looked fun. It looked interesting, kind of thinky, maybe a tiny bit mean. I mean, their motto is play a friend, make an enemy. And we laid it out on the table and messed around with it a bit, but we did it wrong. We didn't remember because it had been a while since I watched the video. We didn't remember that you played to 13 points. So we just kept laying tiles till the bag was empty and we just went everywhere. But yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. And I think at the price point he had it at used, that we will definitely get our money's worth out of it. But it was one I kind of had on my radar because I saw that video on it. But when I looked into it new, I thought, oh gosh, for a game like this light that I'm not sure how much we're going to like it, because we don't generally like a lot of really mean head-to-head stuff. And I'm never going to get this bag of tiles back in here. I thought that we might not get our money's worth out of it at 50. I mean, there's a lot of much more substantial games that we have played a fair amount that are in that kind of a price range that I still feel like we have not yet gotten our money's worth out of playing it. It's a fast game, so we could get a lot of plays in, and that would certainly help, but still, I don't know, I kind of balked at the price point, and because I think that it's the economy, stupid. There's just a lot of other people that are going to balk at that price point. This game may not be one that's going to stay in print forever and ever and ever. So these are games that we have, with the exception of Barron Park, which it was just kind of the loss leader for buying Century. These are games, and Village Rails, which we love. These are games we haven't yet played, but they're games that I basically wanted to get now because I absolutely positively can get them now. They were all bought at a slightly lower than retail price, in some cases a massively lower than retail price. The used price on Snakes of Wrath was, he sold it to me for $20, and that's a really good price. And as I said, one of the two Fabio Lopiano games here in this trilogy was also deeply discounted on the Osprey site, as was Village Rails. Century, I think I paid full price for, but still, I do tend to be attracted to sales, but it's not like I buy everything that's on sale. Like, oh, it's on sale, I'll buy it. No, I don't do that. I only buy stuff on sale if I have a reason to be interested in them. And my reason for being interested in these two heavy games are Fabio Lopiano, a designer with a name to conjure with, as the saying goes. But I kind of felt like if I want to try these games, then I need to own them because I don't know anybody who owns them and I don't know how long they're going to be around. So this was very much a FOMO buying thing. And thinking about it more recently, like within the past couple of years, a fair number of the games I've bought have kind of been FOMO games. It's like, I'm going to get them now. I want to get them into the collection because remember, I bought a bunch of games before tariffs hit. Basically, after the U.S. elections, I thought, okay, right, he promised tariffs, so we are going to get slammed. And so, like that fall after the election, I bought up a whole bunch of games because I knew prices were going to go up and that the board game industry was going to be gutted. So that was FOMO buying. And some of them I haven't yet played. And some of them are not. They're not in danger of going out of print. One of them was Grand Austria Hotel, which we have not yet played. And I would not say that it's in danger of going out of print because it's kind of a classic, modern classic, not like ancient classic. But yeah, I don't think it's going to go out of print. But at the same time, the ability to get it and get it at a reasonable price, I thought might be jeopardized by tariffs. So we bought it before all that hit. And same thing with a number of other games. And I do tend to buy things on sale because board game hobby is not cheap. But yeah, a lot of my buying the past couple of years has been snatching things up because, say, maybe I think a publisher is in trouble, or because I know that the price is going to go up, or something like that, or I think that a game is just simply not going to stay in print. And I don't know. I don't know that FOMO is really the best reason to buy games. Fear of missing out. It doesn't drive my life in a substantial way in all other things. But there is a certain volatility to board game publishing. People publish good games and you can't bet on that game being always and forever and ever and ever and ever available, particularly forever and ever and ever available at a certain price or from a certain publisher. It just, I'm just buying a little bit here and there when it looks like something might go away, or again, a sale. But I bought these were very much impulse purchases. And impulse purchases make me go, I don't like doing that. I'm not an impulse purchase kind of person. I occasionally do, particularly with smaller stuff, but I don't usually impulse purchase big things. So I was a little before pushing that buy button and getting these games, but I got them. And eventually we will play them, and I will talk about them here on this channel because that's what I do. And in the meantime, I recommend you check out Board Game Brodie. He does much shorter videos than mine on a variety of different games. I just had a really good browse through his channel and enjoyed watching it a lot. So yeah, I think he's got some new ones out today, in fact, which I have not yet seen. So that's another channel for y'all to look into. And do be aware that you may see ads on my channel now, which I'm not happy about, and you can avoid them by using the Duck player in the DuckDuckGo browser and have ad blocking turned on. So that's it from here. And I will see y'all next time round the table. Y'all take care, and it's been really good talking to y'all. Bye.